Welcome back to our Transformers actual play. My name is Eric Campbell, and we are here for our third session of The Past Awakens. I am here with the Autobots who just had a messy street battle after arriving at the destination Optimus Prime had sent them to uncover what it was that the Decepticons were looking for. Lots of questions. What you all have uncovered up till now is that this appears to be a hideout of some kind. The government, the United States government, appears to be involved in whatever this hideout is. The United States government attempted to drop two young teenagers who were running away with an item using riot round bullets, which was kind of shocking into itself. When you have intercepted these two kids, Carmisi, you can see that you had leapt a fence and chased after them into an alley as the combat continued in the main street. You have confronted them and have gotten yourself in front of them, and you're trying to calm them down. But they are in, oh my God, it's a big talking robot. We're all going to die. And despite your best efforts, Carmisi, you're just, no, it's okay. I promise. But when we last left off, Carmisi, you noticed the telltale signs of Energon emitting from this device that she is clutching to her chest, meaning that whatever it is she has is Cybertronian in origin, which is enlightening to say the least, and definitely explains what the Decepticons are doing here. Now, we're going to pick up again at the top of the round, because when we last left off, you had just finished your round, Carmisi, and you were the last one to go. So we are banking back up to the top of the round. However, the defeated the Decepticon on a 19 has been defeated. So going down the list here, the next one up is actually our big boy Processor, who just stomped down the street and rounded the corner. And you can see there's one Decepticon left who's on the same street as you, literally across the street from you, who's made eye contact from you. And, Sleeper, you're on an 18? That's right, you are on an 18. So you're actually going to be coming up next. There's a Decepticon that's around the corner and is hiding, is not in view. And then somewhere above on a 6-story building here on the street, you all heard that F-18, the Decepticon, the jet Decepticon, convert and land somewhere on one of these buildings. But you don't know where right now. Nobody has line of sight. And we are picking up with you, Sleeper. You have just skid to a stop, and the scattered robotic remains of one of these defeated Decepticons is just laying on the ground. And you are still in alt mode. You just come to a skidding stop. You just see carnage all in front of you from battle.
Do I see the remaining? Not the jet that just turned, but
no, the Decepticon that was chasing after you converted to bot mode and literally just jumped behind one of the buildings and has got his back to the wall. So he is taking cover.
Okay.
He's playing it smart. He just saw two of his companions get completely smashed.
Is there such a thing as like readying an action in?
Yes, but here's how it works. You have to tell me. There's actually. If I remember correctly, there's actually an action here where if you want to use your action on initiative, you can actually re-roll your initiative as your action and choose that as your new initiative in the turn order.
Oh.
So on your action, you can basically sacrifice that round to sort of readjust and take a new initiative round. And I'm just now remembering this too. Cool.
That's one option. The other one being...
The other one what you were talking about doing, Sleeper, is if you want to hold your action, you have to, it's old school. You have to declare what's going to trigger your action next. Otherwise, you move to the end of the round.
Okay. What I would like to do is, one, I have a speed of 8, so I get the movement plus action plus free. I would
fast.
Like to also kind of get clear from where we were at, so I'm not in the middle of things. But then the action I'm readying is that from whatever my new vantage point is, if that remaining Decepticon jumps into view, I also want to ram it.
Okay, so you're basically you're stopping in the middle of the street then and holding.
So I stopped, right? So I want to use a move to like get somewhere not there, like so that I'm not just in the open again. I'm like re-readying myself around some different corner. But from that corner, in case that Decepticon pops into view, I would like to go ahead and ram that one also.
So it sounds to me like you are basically moving. You're going to back up and sort of back into the street that is around the corner and park and just wait to see if that Decepticon peeks out, and you're going to try to ram him if he does?
Yes.
Okay, so you're at the opposite end of the block and you pull back around the corner and come to a stop. And you just patiently wait. If that Decepticon takes out into the open and starts charging down the street, you'll get to act. All right, so that's going to be your action. That's going to bring us down to Processor. Processor, you can see this Decepticon just across the street from you. The rest of the Autobots do not have line of sight on him. He's got his back up against the wall and a blaster out.
Well, I got my shotgun out, so I don't see any other choice than to just blow him away.
All right.
That's okay with you.
Time to send him back to his ancestors.
Mm-hmm. All right, here we go. Well, I could lie and say that I have a really high score, but I'm an honest gamer. I got an 8.
Oh, you shouldn't be an honest gamer. What were you thinking?
I don't know.
Jason, you and your integrity. You need to be a Decepticon. All right.
I guess he knows where I am.
Yeah. Anybody else who had been there, for the most part, Sleeper, you can hear the very familiar sound of a plasma shotgun blast at the end of the street. As Processor fires off a round that destroys the corner of the building this Decepticon was taking cover on, and rocks and just debris explode and fly out into the street as the Decepticon kind of ducks low and barely manages to get out of the way of that. That's going to be... you still have a move action, Processor, if you want to take one.
I'll move right up on him.
You can cross the street. So Sleeper, you're not seeing the Decepticon pop out, but oh boy, you see Processor, this towering Autobot. Again, you are... How tall are you, Processor?
I think we said somewhere between 15 and 20 feet tall.
Up to 30.
Up to 30 feet,
20 feet. 20 feet tall.
20 feet tall. So so you are very large. You're a 2-story building running across the street. You run up on this Decepticon who looks at you in a bit of a state of shock as you're up in his face. That's going to be your move action. You were on a 13. Is that correct?
Could I try to... I couldn't, as a bonus action or as a free action, I couldn't try to intimidate him, could I? Even though
no, that would be a skill check. So that's going to be, that would be an action. You can try that next turn, though. You are going to get to go before him next round.
All right.
So that was going to be, so that's 13. So moving down the initiative order then is that going to be, I think that is going to be Derailer. Let's double check. Nope. It is actually this guy that you ran up on, the soldier. Okay, so as you run up on this Decepticon, you see he kind of does he puts his hand up as you're rushing up, and he's going to attempt to fire off a shot.
Fine, I can take it.
He's going to attempt to shoot at you. And he levels that blaster at you. And fearfully, man, these guys even have armor, and you guys have been smashing through them. Y'all been rolling pretty good against these guys. Ooh, I may have gotten you. What is your toughness defense?
15.
I gotcha. That is going to be 1 laser damage.
All right. 1 health. No problem.
1 health. So you're going to take 1 point of damage. It says, that's to the thing. Okay, so 1 point of damage.
Scratch.
So a laser blast basically slams into you, and you can see the scorched hole in your chassis where it smashes into your body. What does that put you at health-wise?
4.
Okay, so it stings a little bit, but you're fine. after you don't drop after being shot at point blank range. The Decepticon realizes the trouble he's in. So that's going to be 11. So 10. We're going to drop down to, that is going to be you, Derailer.
Me. I'm in the garage. I'm coming out. Came out of the garage.
You were stalking over to that other SUV to destroy the tire, but you can change your action if you want. Yeah.
No, I will still do that action, and I realize that I get my speed is 4, so I've got to move a standard and a free.
Okay.
So that standard is getting rid of is taking care of the tire.
The tire explodes.
Yes, I will. I don't know. I'm just gonna make sure that I remember the fact that these freaking government vehicles are in here, and that's weird. And then I'm gonna join the fight. What's left of it. So I'm gonna move back out because I see Processor is like. Can I see him from the garage, like just like taking hits?
You can see Processor. Processor towers 20 feet up, so you were seeing a 2-story Autobot moving around the street. You definitely heard the blaster shot, so when you look out, you can see Processor still standing, and you can see little wisps of smoke drifting up from the front part of his torso, but you cannot see what's in front of him.
Okay, so I'm going to, I'm not going to come out. I don't know what's there, so I'm going to move to like the side of the gate that, you know, like I'm still like kind of peeking out, seeing what's over there.
Okay. You move out to the side of the gate, and as you peek out, what you see, Derailer, is more evidence of the carnage. You can see bits and pieces of one of the Decepticons is scattered across the street. And make me, you know what though?
Yeah.
I'm going to have you make me an alertness check.
Okay.
Tell me what you get. I'm going to say this is at a snag too.
Ooh, okay. All right. So you took away my critical, but it's still a 16. Oh, I crit.
Yeah, because it's your D20s, not your. Yeah, it's your skill dice that crits.
Yes, my skill dice did crit. I rolled a 4 on the D4.
Okay, you don't see what Processor is confronting, but you do see a Decepticon on this top of a building. You've got line of sight on this jet Decepticon, this seeker that that is basically, you've just watched the jet had converted on top of the building and landed up there. You didn't know where the F-18 had disappeared to, but now you can see the Decepticon is standing on top of the building and holding a rifle. You just see this high-powered rifle, and it looks like, with a big grin on its face, the Decepticon is lowering the rifle down into the street.
Okay. Do they hear our comms or no?
You guys can communicate with each other, basically like through wrist or through... Yeah.
Right, but the Decepticons won't hear them?
Like, is it a secure channel? Oh my God.
Is it a secure? Okay, cool. That's okay. You know what? I'll take the risk. I'll communicate to. He's aiming at Processor.
Yeah, you think so? Processor's got his back to him, so it's possible. Yes.
All right. No, I will. Then I'll do it because I don't want Processor to get shot. Say Processor, that F-18 is on your 6.
So you hear the frantic alarm Processor coming through the comms, and Derailer, you still get I'm going to say that's a free action. You still get a movement.
Oh, I still get a movement. I can't get up there, and I'll die. I'll be defeated. Can I just not move? I'm not sure what to do. Yeah. Can I just not move?
If you want to hold here. Yeah, you want to hold this position. You absolutely can do that. Okay, cool. You hold this position. So you basically, holding this position means you keep your eyes on this Decepticon, who is basically trying to line up what looks like a sniper shot. So, yeah. All right. In which case, that's going to move us down from 7. That's going to bring us down to, actually, it's not you yet, unfortunately, Carmisi. It's actually... that's that Decepticon who is trying to get a shot off on Processor, has lined up a shot and is going to take it.
No.
All right. The good news, though, is I'm going to rule that because you were able to spot him, and because you were able to alert Processor is going to be allowed to defend himself. So this is not going to be a sneak attack like it originally was going to be. That was an awesome crit roll right there. Good crit. All right. So in this case, processor, this is going to your toughness. So I'm going to roll. Let's see. He's using, targeting. So D4. Okay. What's your toughness?
Mine?
Yeah.
15.
Oh, right. 15. That shot basically just as you hear Derailleur say, processor, that Decepticon is aiming at you from behind. You whirl around just in time as a bolt of energy goes smashing into the wall right next to your head. And you can see where it came from. There's a Decepticon that is just mounted up with a blaster and is aiming down into the street with a big smile on his face, looking a little more discontented now that he knows he missed the shot. That is going to take us to, at last, Carmisi.
Yay. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is convert into alt mode.
This car is in front of these two kids now. These
which
teenagers.
is going to be my action. Yep, that's how that has to work. And then I'm going to say with my free action one more time, get in, there's seats for two and I can keep you safe.
All right. Go ahead and make another persuasion check. This time though, I am not going to.
So hear me out. My character is so different now that I have points in my skills.
Yeah. We updated. Yeah.
Yeah. Very different. Very different. I think I might actually be able to succeed on something. So
yay.
Give me a shot.
Right.
Give me a shot.
Okay. So this is going to be a persuasion check. But you're going to be rolling your persuasion, but you're not going to be at a snag this time.
Okay.
So it's just a flat roll of a D20 plus your persuasion skill. And don't forget, if you've got a dice that's higher than a D2, it might be worth spending a story point to get specialization in it if you want, because then you'll be rolling 2 dice.
Oh.
But it's the what skill dice do you have in persuasion right now?
I've got a D2 and a D4.
Wait. I'm sorry. What do you have in persuasion? Is it just a D? It's a D4.
D4. I see. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. I
then
them both.
Then it may not be worth spending a special story point for that, but maybe worth holding on to it in case you roll a 1 or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll give that a shot.
Okay, so roll a D20 and a D4.
17 and a 2.
Okay.
19 total.
So 17. Yeah, so 19. Okay, so there is a moment of hesitation. The
Door's
girl
open.
that's clutching the device, she stares at the door and looks over at her partner, and they look back at her, and the two of them just regard each other. And her partner just goes, no. And she just goes, where else are we going? And just gets up and dives into your back seat. And
leather seats.
As she dives into the back seats, her partner just goes, oh crap, and just jumps into the back seat with you. And they are both loaded as passengers.
Movement speed 60 feet.
Okay.
I'm gone.
The doors automatically close and wheels peel out as you back out of the alley at maximum speed, whip out into the back alley and just swing around, kind of rattling them in the seats as you whip around, and you're now facing forward. A car that was coming towards you just swerves out of the way as you are now in what looks like an urban street kind of area that's got a little bit of population here.
It's fine. I'm great at driving, probably.
All right, so what are you doing?
That's the rest of my turn. I think that's cool. I got action, movement, and free action.
You've got the kids and you've got the device. They are in the back seat, and that is going to take us back to the top of the round. So at the top of the round is once again going to be Sleeper. Sleeper, you get the impression that no one is coming around that corner. This is the combat looks like, first of all, you would have seen the blaster shot but you didn't get a good look at where it was coming from because you're angled. You're only seeing it slap into the ground right next to processor, but you didn't see where the shot was because of where you're positioned on the corner. However, you do know that processor is currently face to face with a Decepticon on that street corner, so you can see processor, but you have no line of sight on either Decepticons.
Do I know that Carmisi they just took off, or did I catch that at all?
It was pretty noisy.
It was noisy, but there's really no way of knowing what Carmisi is doing right now.
And that's not true. I mean, maybe you know the sound of my wheels, squealing before I can get the traction to take off.
I go on comm. Carmisi, that sounds like your spin out. Are you gone?
Yeah. I completed the mission.
Should we go then?
Oh, yeah. I probably should have said something.
All right. That's about as much time as you have in that space of time.
Great.
So what are you doing, Sleeper?
I guess I drive over to take out this last ground level bot.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess can I drive into position to see this last one?
See, your movement is 45.
My move is 45, correct.
So it'll take 2 moves to get to the end of the block.
Is there a way to push myself here?
Do you have any kind of perks that let you do something wacky cool?
Either your action or something like a perk.
Only on the first round of combat, I can do burn rubber. I can then gain additional 10 feet of movement for every free action I spend in conjunction with my move action. But that's only on the first round of combat. We're already in the middle of this.
You're already in the middle of it.
Okay, here's what I'll do then.
Okay.
I will drive not close enough to actually make the attack, but enough to try to get his attention. So it's just in view versus in close enough to.
So just mechanically how that's going to work is what you're basically going to accomplish doing that is just adding another target to the battlefield, because you're not going to be able to commit to having an action to distract anybody.
That's fine.
But if they choose to target you, now that you'll be in invisible view, that will draw at least one Decepticon off of processor.
That's fine.
Okay, so in which case, there is another squealing sound as you peel out and race around the corner, swerving and dodging out of the way of all of the scrap that's in the middle of the street from these 2 downed Decepticons. You kind of swerve left and then swerve right again. Your tire just running over the arm of one of these outstretched unconscious Decepticons, and you squeal to the end of the street. Processor, you see to your right, entering in your field of view, Sleeper just kind of drift around the corner and come to a stop. And in that second, that's going to move us to the next initiative order. That's down from 18. That's going to drop us down to 13 is going to be next. So that's you, Processor.
Here's what I want to do. All right. So we got the one that I ran up on. And then we got the other one that was behind me. But with my shotgun, it can do a 15-foot cone blast and can hit 2 targets. Is that possible in the position that I'm in? Could I do a spin move and then hit both of them?
So you want to kind of just step around behind the Decepticon and aim up so you can shoot him and the Decepticon on the building?
Yep. Could I use my
That's a pretty awesome maneuver. You could burn a story point to gain specialization, but you only have a D2 in targeting, correct?
Right, but I'm just saying I could use that story point just because it's such a cool move.
I think what I'm going to do is give you a story point for making such a cool move.
All right.
But, and we'll see if you can pull this off. Let me see here. Let's see. How do I want to handle this? Because it is a rad maneuver for sure. Yeah, honestly, I'm just going to say you're going to gain a story point for this. And to make the shot, I'm not going to impose any penalties.
All right.
So go ahead and make the shot.
22. And you know I'm an honest gamer. I rolled a natural 20 on the 20 and a 2
nat 20
on the D2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
My
15-foot
dogs are my witness.
So it shoots out 60 feet in a 15. So just so I understand the energy blast of your shotgun, it has a spread of 15 feet and it has a distance of 60.
Yes.
That is just a cone of death.
Well, because it hits 2, it's only going to do 1
damage each.
Yeah, damage each, but it's still cool.
You hit them both easily.
Nice.
Wow.
Easily. You hit them both. Bam. The blast goes off. That's 2 points of damage each, or 1 point of damage each. The Decepticon in front of you, he whirls around to try to track you. And when he faces you again, the blast of your shotgun coming out the side of your arm, this energy explosion, Sleeper, you can feel the heat from where you are as the plasma round it just injects out of that shotgun case. Just the Decepticon takes the hit and stumbles back, and you see off in the distance, Sleeper, the Decepticon that was on the roof also takes a shot. You see sparks fly off the front of his chassis as he goes stumbling back. And that was a heck of a round. Bang. So that's going to be Processor, who got them both. That's going to be the next one up is the Decepticon that just took the hit. He is going to... Yeah. He is going to use his standard... Yeah. He's going to use his standard action to immediately convert. He drops down into a car right in front of you and peels out and starts racing. He just maneuvers just around you, Processor, and just starts driving it at top speed. He's going to move about the rest of his movement, so about 30 feet on the ground. So he's just now getting accelerated. He starts basically running and accelerating away. That's his action. 11. Let's see. Moving down the initiative list, that is going to be Derailer.
Me, I was going to take a pot shot at him, like use the distraction to be like pew pew. But he's gone
at
now.
Long range now. Yeah.
I don't have anything long range.
All right. So you move out into the street to level a shot, but you can see that he is out of range. You still get your move and your action for the round, though. Oh, you know who is in range, though?
Who is in range?
You still have line of sight on that Decepticon in the building.
I do. What's the range of my blaster?
That's a medium range for you. All right. So we determined that you are going to make... So the second number on your blaster is its long range. And if you make it the second number, if you make a shot within that range, it's going to be at a snag. So you are 80 feet away. You're just going to be barely able to make the shot. So go ahead and roll it with snag and see what you get.
Double 18s.
Double 18.
Double 18s.
Nice.
Okay, then. It's a 1-2 punch. As Processor has fired off that shotgun blast and it sends energy up into the building, causing that jet to stumble back. The jet stumbles back into Derailer's blaster shot that bullseyes him from behind. And you just see this column of smoke drift up as the Decepticon drops face down. That is going to bring us to Carmisi, who is technically disengaged from combat now. Where are you racing to, Carmisi? Do you even know? Just away?
Well, yeah, back to
leaving the city.
Yeah, wherever our home base is.
Okay, you basically peel around the corner and start slowing a little bit and just kind of trying to drive casual, I guess.
Yeah, and I'm going to engage in some polite conversation.
Sure. Before you do that, because you are fleeing a combat scene where all chaos is broken loose, I am going to absolutely have you roll a deception check here.
Ooh, the thing I have nothing in. Good. So I get to roll with a snag.
This is going to be a deception check. No, you're actually going to roll because you're an Autobot and because you are in form right now, I believe. So this is going to be a deception check, but because you are in alt form right now as an Autobot, you automatically gain a bonus to that. Isn't that correct? For the Allspark gives you the ability to...
For infiltration, or is that for deception? No, that makes sense. Yeah,
that's actually the correct roll. Infiltration is the correct roll. because you're literally trying
to read things.
You're literally trying to blend in right now. Like everything's fine here, so make an infiltration check.
Trying to actually be a car.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and because you look like you belong, I believe you get an upshift in your dice for the Allspark.
Ooh.
So what is your?
I have nothing. I have nothing in infiltration.
You have nothing in infiltration?
No, except whatever. Oh God, I gotta double check that again.
So an upshift is just one dice level up.
So I'd have a D2 then.
Then it would give you a D2.
Gotcha. Understood then.
So roll a D. So roll your D20 plus a D2. Tell me what you get.
Oh, that's not the worst. 12 and a 2 on my D2.
So 14?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You're just driving casual.
Yeah.
Don't mind me. I'm just kind of
stopping at all the stop signs.
Yeah, you're minding. You've got a basic knowledge of how humans like to operate their traffic laws.
Rolling stops.
Yeah. And you engage in polite conversation.
So you two sure like to walk, huh?
The young girl is just clutching the backpack and is just staring and kind of like, you can see Carmisi. She looks like she's in shock. She looks like her hand's trembling a little bit, and she looks like she doesn't know how to reply. Her partner, who's sitting next to her, they look at her and just go, Charlotte? And they look forward to see who's in the front seat, noticing that it's just a holographic human driving. And they look back, hey, and just waving in front of her face. And this young girl is just completely... He goes, hey, snap out of it, and just starts shaking her. That's what's happening in the backseat right now.
Okay. That's my turn.
Okay. That's going to be your action. That is going to be at the top of the round. You have an option here, Sleeper, if you want to chase down that Decepticon. Otherwise, he is out of here.
Yeah, if the only one left, I mean... If we're free to go, we should leave. So I just say, job's done. Carmisi's got him. Let's go.
Job's done. Okay. So
I just
if that's
give that to processor.
Yeah, this processor. It's your action now.
And I leave also. Yeah.
You just Sleeper just peels out and heads back down the street where he came from.
Actually, I do that on comm so that Derailer knows also that we're good to go.
Okay.
Ooh.
All right. And it's your technically we're still in combat until processor makes a decision. So it's processor's action.
To chase the last one?
Yes, you have the option. As he's getting away, Sleeper said, "Okay, let's get out of here." And this,
can I still reach him with my weapon, or he's past that?
What's the range on your weapon? It's 60.
60.
No, he's still within range of your weapon.
I would have a snag at 60 though.
Yeah, he's still within range.
And that's the one I hit. One of the ones I hit once, right?
Yeah, he's been wounded.
I mean, I'm taking a shot.
Yeah, do
Sorry, Sleeper. I'm taking a shot. What can I say?
Take the shot.
Cool.
At disadvantage, though, I only got an 11.
Okay, you take the shot.
I only got an 11.
There's a boom of this blaster. He goes off again in the street. You see one of the stop signs that he just drives past explodes into shards of metal, and the Decepticon just rounds the corner and vanishes.
Dang it. Well, I can I can recycle that metal from the stop line.
Yeah, you technically could.
I could scavenge it. So
and that's going to bring combat to an end. You guys are out of combat now.
We did it.
One got away, but
on comms. Yeah. So are we? Yeah. You all. Did you solve it?
Not you solved it. You said you had them.
Oh yeah, I completed the mission, but I didn't really like. I took out one Decepticon. It's no cliff jumper.
Well, you know, we all got to start somewhere.
Yeah, no, that's true. So I'm on the road. I'm already on the highway. I don't know if you want to join me.
And I mean, technically, that was the mission, to find the source of the signal, right? We've got that, right?
Oh yeah. So about that. So like they might have some Cybertronian technology. It's nothing scary or anything, but two humans in possession of something they don't know, and I don't think they're well. But I don't know what. Like, should I go through a drive-through?
And if you think that
just so that you're completely aware, Carmisi, as they are in your back seat right now, they can actually hear you talking to Processor. Yeah.
Carmisi's not used to having crew.
It's not playing against you. You're just like, should I take him through a drive-through?
It's definitely been a day for them.
Yeah. So okay, yeah, we'll pick up the square things the round. Yeah, we'll pick up the round things they eat and the little sticks that are yellow, and I'll meet you back at base.
They're talking about burgers and French fries?
That's the name. I see them on billboards all the time. You know, it's literally I roll over packages of those almost every day. They make me mad. So much litter from those burgers.
I know. I hope they're composting that food waste, by the way.
One of the kids in the back seat who's trying to wake up Charlotte just is listening to this going, what the heck is going on? And it's just, they too now are just kind of like, this is just the lunacy of it has just kind of gotten to them. And they're just like, Derailleur and Processor, the two of you start hearing the sounds of what it sounds like the heavy pounding of helicopter rotors in the distance.
Oh, we should convert and go. while she's saying that, she is actually converting. So like midway, she becomes the bike.
All right, you know what? We should do the same thing.
All right. You just transform into this big truck. The entry, the back end of the truck just opens up and
I just bunny hop in. Yep.
Yeah. And you guys, I'm going to have Sleeper and I'm going to have Processor make infiltration checks as y'all drive out of the area. Right. Let's see if you can quote unquote fly casual. Y'all are fleeing the scene of some major carnage that took place here.
Mess.
Well,
am I doing a one upshift for the Allspark or two upshifts because of it's appropriate?
You would be two upshifts for all of y'all. It's appropriate for everybody.
Okay.
Y'all look like you're part of the scenery here. I mean, it's Portland. Yes, there's recycling trucks driving around here. And you also, Sleeper, you look like a used car. So you're fine. So both of you go ahead and make the double upshifts rolls. So Processor and Sleeper, make your infiltration checks and you get two upshifts.
Oh no.
Did you roll a 1? Because you can spend a story point. None of y'all spending story points.
I would like to spend a story point.
Yes.
Okay, spend a story point and re-roll that.
Do I re-roll the whole thing or just the bad?
Let's look. I actually have that open. You may re-roll any skill die or any die that is a result of 1. So you do not re-roll the whole thing. You just re-roll any die that resulted in a 1.
I'm going to switch die here. I mean, not less bad.
Okay. 1.
I got a 9.4 for a 13.
Okay. How'd you do, Processor?
I got a total of 11.
Okay. The two of you slink away. You're just a recycling truck in a used car. Don't know what you're talking about. Moving out of here. After, if you can imagine the scene, like a cut scene of Carmisi with the camera kind of head on, just driving down the street, leaving Portland, and moving into frame is a recycling truck. And a few moments later, moving into frame is Sleeper. Just and the three of you flanking each other leave the city just as the sun has set behind all of you. You get some distance. No eyes in the skies and no sign of any helicopters following you. But it has occurred to all four of you that behind you in the scene of carnage, people from the U.S. government definitely made contact with y'all. They definitely have footage of y'all. And there are definitely at least 3 Decepticon bodies, chassis just laying damaged and defeated back there. 1 on a building and 2 on the ground. So that is kind of sinking in as y'all are driving away.
Do we know if, like, historically they would pick up their own chassis?
That's a good question. I would say that's a really good question. Actually, I would say this is a roll. If you want to try to guess here, let's see. I would say make a culture roll, and I would say go ahead and give yourself 2 upshifts in that because because this is literally Cybertronian culture, and you kind of got. I'm going to go ahead and say that you've got not 2 upshifts. Why don't we say instead of 2 upshifts, let's just have you roll with
1. Like if I was from the home planet, that would make sense. But like I was raised on Earth.
Instead of an upshift, I would say don't roll with upshifts. I would say roll with an edge. So yeah.
What is that? Looks like a B. That's an 8.
Do you have anything in culture?
No.
Oh, okay. You have no idea. You don't know if you don't know if Megatron is going to send somebody to get those guys. You don't know what's up. You have no idea.
It's at this point in the back of processor's truck. I'm like, hey, processor.
Yeah.
Do we recycle bodies? Do we recycle chassis? Like, could you have put those in your, and then like,
I mean, we can go back and get them.
Well, we're kind of far out now, but that would have been
morbid as it sounds.
It just seems kind of dangerous to do now, but that's probably a good idea.
I mean, honestly, we heard those choppers before I could even throw them in the back. We had
I don't think we would have had time, but
in the future, I think it's something we should think about.
Yeah.
Okay, because I mean, let's be real. They're just gonna come back, new parts, fancier colors.
Hey.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh, I forgot.
Car. Pull over, please.
Pulling over. Oh, got a signal. Crap. Heck. I think we're on like the highway, so it's a little.
Y'all are off the highway. Y'all are outside of Portland, so there's a highway, but it's like a big grassy area. But it's easy to get off an exit ramp and just drive down. And as you pull over, you kind of come to a stop in the gravel. The rest of you, I'm guessing, follow Carmisi. As soon as you come to a stop, it's kind of this open, expansive area. There is an overpass. There's cars passing by and whatnot. So there's still plenty of mortals around. But basically, as soon as you pull over, the girl Charlotte, who you just now suddenly realize looks really pale, she just throws open the door and dashes out, falls onto all fours, and just loses it. Her partner rushes over to her and grabs her and holds her hair as she just retches as it starts to wear off. A few seconds later, she's just catching her breath, just going, and her partner goes down and says, "Hey, we're okay. We're okay." They make eye contact for a second, and she looks at her partner and just says, "Was a car talking to us?" And the partner just goes, "Yeah." And she looks back and you swing the door open and close, and she looks over at it and notices there's a recycling truck and a used car that's kind of parked right next to, and she just, "Was there a robot?" And her partner looks back at you, Carmisi, and then looks back at her and goes, "Yeah." And she just says, "Okay. I guess." And she wobbles a little bit as they help her up. And, "Should we run?" And her partner goes, I don't know. I don't think so. And the humans look back at you, Carmisi, and then look at the other cars that are just oddly parked there with humans that are in the passenger and like the driver's seats just kind of stiffly yeah, exactly. Exactly. And finally the young woman says, "Who are you?" And waits to see if you actually speak back.
Oh, instantly. I have a chance to hear my own voice. Oh gosh, Carmisi's on it. Oh, hey, yeah. I'm Carmisi. Nice to meet you.
You're Carmisi?
Yeah, my friends are here. I don't know if they're not as like flashy as I am.
I am flashy. You hear from inside a recycling truck.
Yeah, there's like an echoing voice from inside the backup processor. They glance over at the big green truck.
I'll bunny hop out.
So processor, you can feel derailleurs like bumping into the gate to the back.
Oh, all right. Open it up.
You just drift out the back with your hollow matter human on the back of the bike. They don't react, they kind of just see a human on the back of an e-bike, just kind of right up to them. And immediately she goes, "Hey, who are you? Is that your car? I don't think," and she glances inside again to look at your hollow matter form, Carmisi. And you just smile at her. And she's like, "What is going on? What are you?"
We're cars and bikes.
Oh.
Are we allowed to say we're Autobots?
It's kind of like against our prime directive, but also like these guys gotta like, these folks should probably keep hanging out with us because they might be involved in something that is a lot bigger than them, and we might be the only ones that can protect them.
Don't worry.
So little.
I've studied some of the culture, and let me try to calm them.
All right, you're the culture expert.
No. What? Since when?
Don't worry. We're not sketch. We are the bomb. We are the freshest. So let's just everyone chillax.
My hollow matter self could facepalm right now.
Yeah. I'm going to have you make a persuasion check with Snag.
Oh, great. But it's good because I don't actually
Quincy.
have to.
But Quincy, I'm giving you a story point.
Oh, nice. Oh, it's good because I don't actually have points in these things.
Oh, excellent. Excellent.
Sleeper is just an enthusiast of the slang from when he first went inactive.
Sure.
I love that.
But also still bad at humaning, just bad at humaning from 30 years ago, too.
Right.
Oh, God. One fell. Let me roll it again. Oh, good. Okay. 3.
Okay. The girl goes, "What?" Her partner goes, "Listen, we don't know what this is, but you're not with the feds, right?"
No,
we don't eat.
What?
Okay.
We don't eat the kind of food you do.
What?
But we are fueled up with what we have.
Oh, no. Sleeper.
Real dope.
So, oh gosh. Sleeper, no, like feds, like the federal government. Those butt faces earlier that were shooting the rubber bullets.
Oh, we are not narcs.
That's better.
You are starting to elicit a smile from the pale girl who's listening to this and glances over at her partner, who just looks back at her and says, "So what are you then? What do you want from us?"
Well, first of all, are y'all okay? Because those rubber bullets, I guess whatever they fired, they felt like they would have hurt you.
Maybe we should talk about this somewhere else. And she just nods and says, could we get something to eat?
Round patties. Do you like the round The burger rounds?
If it makes you feel better, we can get the ones that come with little plastic figures. I know those are super popular.
The toys. They fill so many landfills.
They look a little too old for Happy Meals.
Don't order too much, because almost half of the food in this country goes to waste. Approximately 3,000 pounds of food per second.
So I want you to know.
Give it to me to compost, then I can give it to a food source for local animal farms that meet federal, state, and local regulations for food scrap usage.
I want you all to keep in mind that as processor is saying all of this, you all are hearing it clear as day, but it is, of course, processing like it is coming from the man sitting in the front seat of a recycling truck. So there is a very animated man shouting this inside the cab of his truck that you can all hear, and like with exceptional quality and volume, that it's causing like there's just a brief moment of silence from the young woman who finally just goes like she just cracks a little bit, and the other one, her partner, just says, we're vegan, so if you could take us somewhere, or vegetarian rather, if you could take us somewhere just like that, not to be picky, we haven't eaten in a while. French fries is fine.
Okay, we're familiar.
Processor, I think your special knowledge calms them.
Oh, good. Well, food scraps make up almost 12% of municipal solid waste generated in the United States.
Oh gosh. Okay, get in the car.
I'm just hopping back into Drillers.
Okay.
Yeah.
You go back inside. They get back into the back seat.
What do you call yourselves?
The young girl says, there's a moment of hesitation, and she takes a leap of faith and says, Charlotte. Her name's Charlotte, and this is Billy.
Hey, I'm Kermisi. The loud one that won't ever stop talking about recycling is Processor. The only slightly cool one that was the e-bike is Derailer, and you're kind of like just like so, you know, and then the one that looks like it belongs in a junkyard is Sleeper.
Don't get them confused, Carmisi.
B, you are long overdue for a story point. You are long overdue. You've been bringing the A games in session 1. Gain a story point, please.
Thank you. I will correct
that. So let's do this. We're going to cut to about 20 miles outside of Portland. Y'all are in the parking lot of a fast food restaurant, and leaning against the hood of Sleeper, Charlotte is just tearing in to an Impossible Burger, just ripping into it. And you can see Billy is also just shoveling French fries into their mouth. The two of these humans look like they probably haven't eaten for a couple of days.
Oh, dear.
They just down a soda in just a few huge gulps. Well, and Billy just turns and looks at Charlotte and says, "Oh my God." And Charlotte just says, "Oh no," and just keeps eating. Until Charlotte finally shifts over and looks at the 3 cars lined up in the parking lot with the e-bike parked to the side and says, "So are y'all from, like, who made y'all?"
The Allspark? Oh.
Hey there.
My headlights blink.
That much.
The
Hallmark, the Hallmark, more.
Honestly, we like to put that on the down low.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. I don't mean to ask too many questions. It's just y'all are, this is kind of new for us. And she just keeps eating the burger, just talking with her mouth full, just big wad of food in her cheek as she's just
just grateful they're eating over Sleeper. Leave those Billy, crumbs on top of him.
Yeah, Billy finally pipes up, and they're like, "So, look, I'm just gonna come out and say the few things, and you tell me if I'm prying, and we'll drop it." But
yeah, go ahead.
do you all have something to do with what we found? And points. And Charlotte stops chewing and looks a little nervous for a second and looks at all of you. And Billy finishes the statement by saying, I think I know that you saw what we're carrying, but you haven't tried to get it from us, so.
Well, gosh, this is so hard. We don't have a leader in this group. Should we
Not
vote?
I mean, we are kind of curious where you got it from.
Once again, they have this sort of silent language between the two of them as they look at each other. And then finally, she speaks up and says, okay, well, so, sorry, I'm still getting used to talking to a car. This is just new for me.
Yeah, you could just talk to the hollow,
right?
Us in the front.
The hologram. It's so.
Yeah, we did a good job, huh? They're pretty believable. At least I think.
You look great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, So Billy and I have a podcast that we do, and we kind of, I guess we're investigators, right? Yeah, we investigate things. Yeah. So Billy and I, we kind of just investigate things, and we kind of like dig into conspiracy theories and UFOs and stuff like that. And we got a tip from some random dude who said that they had seen a meteorite or something that was laying out in the field. And I guess it was on his farm or something, and he had come across it when he was going through crops, or I don't remember. What did he say again? Billy just says it doesn't matter. Basically, he dug it up, and they came across this thing in the field and asked us to come out and check it out. And the moment we got there, we found it, and we got surrounded by a bunch of black cars, and we ended up running because we thought the government, because we investigate things, right? And maybe we had finally stumbled upon something. Mm-hmm. Right. So anyway, they pulled us into their cars, and the next thing we know, we're being hauled into this facility, and we managed to, get away. And Billy says she kicked one of them right in the groin. It was the coolest thing. Just bolted out the door. We were just running, and we would have gotten away without them chasing us, except somebody had to stop and get the bag. And she's like, I wasn't going to leave it behind. The whole reason we got swiped. I mean, it's the biggest discovery we've ever made. Well, at least it was until we met y'all. And now y'all are kind of the biggest discovery. Oh, but we won't say anything if you don't want us to. We're not going to, unless you want to come on our podcast.
Oh, could I? Oh, no.
I want to go on their podcast.
The recycling truck raises its holographic fist.
Optimus Prime, beep, beep, beep. My lift arms.
Yeah, no. I would never. Absolutely not. I have no interest in fame. That's silly. Glory?
Yeah, no, it's probably best if we don't come on your podcast, or if you don't say anything about us.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I had a feeling. But yeah, we managed to grab it on our way out, and they got serious and they chased after us, and that's when we ran into the street and you guys were there.
I mean, do you mind if we take a look at it?
I guess that would be okay. Roll a persuasion check.
Okay.
She seems a little nervous.
Specifically with persuasion, I get an upcharge.
You're bigger.
An upshift?
I get an upshift with large and in charge.
Hey. I'm going to give you an additional upshift because you have fed them, you've been very kind to them, and you've been funny. So their guard has been kind of dropping slowly. Their resistance has been dropping.
I got a 13.
Okay.
Oh, but I'm sorry, but I did crit on the D6.
Oh. Okay, then the crit count. Okay, so she seems hesitant at first, and she goes, "Sure. What do you want me to do? Do you want me to just put it in somebody's seat?"
Sure. Who do you think out of the four of us Sleeper is the best one to take a look at this.
Oh,
Derailer.
Probably Sleeper.
Does it fit in your cargo rack, Derailer?
It does, actually. Derailer kind of wheels over and like
your holo is just like walking you over to them.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like wheels the rear wheel around to put it in the cargo rack.
Billy moves over to make sure that nobody can see what she's pulling out of the bag, and when she withdraws it, it is indeed a sphere. I'm going to have everyone who sees it as she is putting it into Derailer's compartment. If you could please, each one of you can make I believe this is a technology roll. This is smarts. So you can make a technology check here and gain an automatic upshift for this. Tell me what you get.
Oh, I crit.
You're muted, Quincy.
Surprisingly, a 17, a 15 plus 2.
Okay. And then Derailer crits.
And a crit. And I also got a crit.
Okay.
Yeah, I also got a 15 and a crit.
Oh my goodness. So how about you, Carmisi?
You're muted.
You're muted.
Pitiful. Mm-hmm. I got a 2, and that would be a 2 on the D2.
So Kamisi, you're just like, yeah, I guess when they chew the food, it goes into their bodies and gives them energy.
When does it come out?
Like, did they absorb it into their bodies? Does it work like Energon? Like,
there's never any answers at the drive-through. The drive-through movie theaters.
Right. The three of you, however, know a Cybertronian distress beacon when you see it. It looks like a small beacon. These are usually, there's never just one. The beacons are typically, because of the vastness, when there is a crash taking place, typically beacons of this size are littered like breadcrumbs to sort of lead people to the direction of a downed ship in case the downed ship is ever destroyed or damaged to the point where it cannot actually send out a beacon. Usually these come in multitudes. This looks like a Cybertronian distress beacon. It also looks ancient, like Ark ancient, and it does not. It couldn't have come from the Ark because the Ark was nowhere near the area in which they have described where they picked it up. The Ark has crashed 20 plus miles away, coming from the opposite direction. So it is a Cybertronian beacon. It looks quite old.
We got to show this to Optimus Prime. But I also don't want to insult our new friends here and be as bad as the Decepticons were and take it from them by force.
Why don't we just bring them with us? Hey, y'all want to go on a trip?
Okay. Immediately, Charlotte just says, yeah. And Billy goes, no.
What?
Yes. Are you kidding me? And they just kind of look back and say, do you even know what you're doing, what we're getting into? And Charlotte says, no.
Here's the thing, though.
You were throwing up like 20 minutes ago.
If you come with us?
Yeah. They stop and turn and look at you, Sleeper.
If you come with us, you gotta zip your lips about it.
I won't say a word. Wait, Charlotte just covers Billy's mouth and goes, yes, we're in. And Billy just looks completely resigned. They just kind of... Cut to the Autobots arriving at the Ark. It's late. About 11 p.m. at this point when you're driving back in. Lights pulling in. Pasted against the window, Charlotte is looking up, awestruck. Y'all have moved way off the road into a hidden breach where you're at the base of a now dormant volcano where the Ark has been wedged into the rock face. Anybody who is passing by might have just assumed that they were looking at just a part of the mountain. But as y'all get closer, it becomes very clear to her what she is looking at. She just stares awestruck and says, Billy, are you seeing this? And Billy doesn't respond. Billy's just looking out the window going, just completely dumbfounded. The sheer immense size. Remember, this is an Ark capable of carrying Autobots. One of the things that's helping mask it is its sheer size makes it look like it's part of the mountain. And you all pull into the Ark. As you do, you see moving through the garaged area of like the ramp up into the Ark where the bay, the loading bay is. You see Blaster, who is walking by and just putting down a crate. Blaster, of course, is one of my all-time favorite Autobots. As you guys drive in, Blaster just goes, "Hey, look who's back!"
Hi, Blaster.
Blaster pauses as he sees two humans in the front seat of Carmisi looking up, and Blaster goes, "Oh, baby," and shakes his head like,
no amount of tinted windows could hide them, I guess, huh?
Blaster puts down the crate that he was carrying and goes, "Oh, if it's not gonna be Ironhide that's gonna chew y'all out, it's gonna be Prime."
Oh, I don't know if I can handle that. It's gonna be fine. It's processor. It's gonna be fine.
If you're gonna get out, if you're gonna get chewed out, might as well get chewed out by the head honcho.
Charlotte and Billy get out and round and just look up. Remember, they've only seen one bot mode so far, and they're staring up at Blaster, who smiles back down and says, "Well, I guess there's no point in being unfriendly. Hi there." And just kind of waves at them. And the two humans, Charlotte just goes, "Hi." And Billy goes, "Hi."
Come on, humans. I don't want to. I don't want you to get lost. No, I don't want something to smush you. I don't really have excuses. You should just get back in the car so I can pretend like you're not here for a little bit longer.
Blaster's seen him. Blaster's gonna tell.
Blaster,
we're back at base fully, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I finally convert back into bot mode.
That startles them, and you do too as well, processor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You just go into the full mode. They aren't horrified. Now they are just awestruck as they stare.
I'm the last Charlotte one then.
Okay. The one that's
alt.
Charlotte's face, you can see the slight smile on her face as she is just like, "Oh my God." And she's just staring at everybody. And Billy just goes, "Wow." They're just completely stunned as they're staring.
How old do they look?
They're probably, they're not 18. They probably look like they're maybe pushing 17, maybe 16.
Actual youth.
Yeah, actual teenagers. Blaster goes, "Well, it's only a matter of time till y'all are uncovered. If it's not going to be me, you should probably take these guys straight to Prime. You don't want to get caught by Ironhide. If Ironhide spots you, that's game over."
Right, you're right. Okay, humans, out the car.
Okay, so you're going to bot mode, Carmisi?
Yeah. I'll go scoop them up if I have to, but with their permission, I might scare them. Or we'll just hustle them. But like, oh my God, their little legs will take so long.
Yeah, they'll follow after you. They'll just follow after you.
Well, I've got a question. Could I argue that maybe in a monolith, if you went into bot mode, that the driver's compartment could still hold people inside? Is that possible or no?
I think that would have to be a perk.
That's something specific, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Just checking.
I think that might have to be a perk. Yeah.
Let's just put them on our shoulder. No, that's dangerous. Hold them in our hands.
But they'll follow after y'all. And you all go deeper into the Ark, headed towards your debrief with Optimus towards the war room. A few Autobots walk by. They pause as they look at the humans. Charlotte just kind of waves at one of them. You see, as this is happening, a few of the Autobots, you notice a few of them, y'all are getting looks from a few of the Autobots.
Hey, check out the latest in hollow matter technology. It's like the real. Isn't that crazy?
Rounding the corner as y'all are approaching the war room, you see leaving the war room is RC. RC is RC, basically a tall, thin, very sort of like agile looking Autobot. Her whole chassis is bright pink with shades of pink. She has the big Autobot symbol emblazoned on her chest. She's also known as one of the most deadly snipers the Autobots have. And her alt mode is it's varied from generation to generation of RC, but I'm going to stick with my favorite version of her alt mode, which is a sport bike. So she comes walking out. She's like, "Hey, you guys are back." Oh no. And she stops and looks at the humans and goes, "Wow, that didn't take long to blow, did it?" Not only did you blow it, but you came back here with humans. Not that y'all are unwelcome here. It's just that y'all probably shouldn't be here. Not that that's going to be a problem for the two of you. It's mostly going to be a problem for you guys. And she points at all of you. And
don't rub it in. Don't rub it in.
We
RC.
did the mission, so
I mean, yeah, technically we did the mission that we were asked to do.
RC shrugs and says, "You should go inside before Ironhide sees this."
Oh yeah. Good idea. Good idea.
She takes a step aside and says, "Good luck."
Thank you.
And she squats down with a big smile on her face and very friendly to the two humans. She goes, "Welcome to the Ark." Oh. And Charlotte just smiles back at her and says, "I'm Charlotte." And RC says, "I'm RC. It's nice to meet you." And she's like, "This is Billy." And Billy, RC, nice to meet you. Well,
we got to take our humans. RC, stop being nice.
RC just gives you the salute and gets up from the squat position, just starts moving down the hallway and has a slight, you can see her shoulders kind of shuddering a little bit as she's chuckling at all of you. When you all enter into the war room, you see Optimus is in here. You see Bumblebee is in here. And you see Ironhide is in here. Ironhide, let me give you a quick,
please.
The reason
why
why everyone, the reason why, that's a good question. Ironhide, yeah. So Ironhide is definitely known to be, what's a good word to describe Ironhide? Ornery, a little like bad, kind of a bad, grumbly. Is one of Optimus's chief lieutenants, and does things by the book and does not tolerate people breaking like protocols or anything like that.
My biggest nightmare.
He's kind of just sitting in there. Warrior Cast is just sitting there having a conversation with Optimus, and the phrase that you hear yet again coming from Bumblebee go, "Oh boy!" Bumblebee sees a lot of y'all walk in. Optimus and Ironhide are talking, and Bumblebee just goes, Optimus, and just taps him. And Optimus says, "What is it, Bumblebee?" And everyone stops and turns and looks as the four of y'all walk in with two humans, and there's a dead silence in the room, and Charlotte just goes, "Charlotte, Billy, hi." Cut to. Charlotte and Billy are once again sitting up into like the rafters of the war room eating. They've been given food and they're just eating.
How
down
long
below,
were we yelled at for?
Down below,
I think we're still being yelled at.
Ironhide says, "You endanger every Autobot bringing them back here. How many people saw the combat? I can't believe you. You went alt mode in front of a building in broad daylight." And Prime just says, "Calm down, Ironhide. I'll handle this." Ironhide says, "But Prime," and "I know, I'll handle this." Ironhide stomps out of the room, pauses and says, "If you were in my unit," and then turns again and leaves the room. Prime looks back at all of you and says, "He's not wrong, though."
We were just doing what the mission was supposed to be.
They had the item. We didn't want to take it from them by force the way the Decepticons would.
Yeah, we're better than that.
And the Decepticons did show up.
Oh, wow. Yeah, did they ever?
Force.
We should talk about that.
I never changed to bot form. I stayed in disguise.
Oh, wow. Okay, now you have to rub it in.
Teletran, bring up the news. You see on the holo, you see news reports of eyewitnesses claiming that they saw some weird stuff taking place in downtown Portland. And you see some people going, it's the wildest thing. I saw a recycling truck walk across the street with this big thing on his, cuts away and says, police believe that some hallucinogenic substances may have been in play, and just kind of goes on and on. Optimus brings it down, but what you notice is there's no sign of Decepticons in the news, and there's no sign from helicopter footage flying overhead. You do not see any defeated Decepticons laying in the street.
Okay, okay, this is doctored film. Doctored
Derailer, you see that garage that you were in. You see you see empty spaces and an open garage door to the machine shop that you had broken into, the Autobot shop, the auto body shop. Thanks, Jason. And the news continues to play, and Prime turns back to everyone and says, Megatron can't risk being seen any more than we can.
What? How did the Decepticons were on the ground? They were we defeated them.
I'm pretty sure the actual U.S. government is involved in either the cover-up or what just happened, what we were sent to recover.
Prime considers this for a moment.
We don't know if those helicopters were Decepticons, if those were helicopters that worked with the government. We don't know.
Yeah. So can you roll the news footage back a bit, Prime Optimus, sir, please?
Teletran, and the reverts back.
Yeah. Can you stop it? Like when the garage just shown, like there were two big old trucks in there with government license plates. And they're not there now, along with the Decepticons that we defeated. I don't think that's a coincidence.
Oh, wow. Good catch.
Prime considers this for a moment and says, well, despite everything that happened, and Prime puts his hand on your shoulder, Carmisi, and says, I'm glad you all made it back okay.
Thank you.
How are you feeling, Processor? Looks directly at you. You stand at eye level with Prime, Processor, and you see that he is looking directly at the wound you have in your upper left shoulder, this big hole where the Decepticon shot you at point blank.
Well, they designed me pretty good back in the day, so I'm not too worried about it. It's a little itchy, but I'll take care of it now that we're back.
Well, I'm glad to see that you're okay, friend. We're going to need some time to plan our next move. But one thing is for sure. You all managed to successfully find whatever it was Megatron was looking for, and you managed to get to it before the Decepticons could. Now we just need to decipher the meaning of this. Teletran, can you run a scan on the object? Processing, Optimus Prime. Optimus takes the device and sets it in the middle of the holo scanner, and it begins to scan, and you can see the composites, what it's made up of, and sure enough, it's Cybertronian in origin, just like you all suspected. It has also been dated, and you see Teletran putting up all the information on the screen. This hologram begins to display the Energon. It has been running on Energon for all of this time. But according to Teletran's calculations, this beacon has been here on Earth for an estimated 74 million years.
Ooh.
And Optimus, you see Optimus reacts to this. His posture stiffens a little bit, and he goes into like his thinking pose as he stares at this. 74 million years. That's before the Ark landed here. Teletran, is it possible to find out if there are any further beacons? Affirmative. Stand by. And immediately Teletran begins to run triangulations on where the second beacon could be. As it's scanning, Optimus turns to all of you and says, while this is happening, I want each of you to get some rest. take some time to get some repairs done. Pats you on the shoulder processor. Ching, ching, says, get that looked at. Everyone, despite the chaos, you actually did quite well, and I commend you on your first mission.
Thank you. Wow.
That being said...
So Ironhide's not going to beat us up?
Ironhide will probably chew you out.
Oh my gosh. He yelled at us for so long. Prime, sir. Optimus.
Prime looks at you, Carmisi, and just says, the truth is, Carmisi, is Ironhide is acting in the best interest of every Autobot, and Ironhide is not wrong. But the situation couldn't be helped, and you all did the best you could with what you had. Though, maybe in the future, Carmisi, maybe a little more subtlety is called for when breaking into a facility. Prime just leaves the question mark hanging in the air.
Yeah. Could I give the humans like a tour?
No, they can't leave this room for now. We need to decide exactly how we're going to handle the situation. They're not allowed to see the rest of the Ark.
Oh, are they? And like they look over at them. Are they going to be okay? They're kind of cool.
Prime kind of cranes his head for a little bit and says, you have nothing to worry about. There are guests here and we'll take care of them. But their knowledge of us and our conflict with the Decepticons can endanger their lives. We need to determine how we're going to handle this situation. Bumblebee says, well, I know that we've done it before on Autobots, but I don't think it's right to memory wipe them. And Prime says, agreed. It would be a violation of their sovereignty.
And not only that, like, the people who are looking for them will still be looking for them, and it'll be worse if they don't know why they're looking for them.
Good point.
Rather makes a good point.
Yeah,
we might be in a situation where we have no choice. Bumblebee says, I mean, I listened to a few.
Oh, processor's dancing, and I should change the topic.
Besides, if the Decepticons saw them too, if we release them back out without our care, something might happen to them with Cybertronians that aren't us.
Bumblebee pipes up and says, I don't think there's anything we can do except for just the best we can with this, Prime. I think maybe we should take a chance on trusting them. Get to know them a bit. Maybe it might work for us if we do show them the rest of the Ark so they can know that we're the good guys.
Yeah.
Prime doesn't look convinced. And he says, I'll consider that. For now, I'll put them in your care. And looks directly at you, Carmisi. There will be your responsibility.
Okay.
Keep them safe and don't let them into. Keep them safe and don't let them into restricted areas.
Understood, Prime Optimus, sir. I've watched a lot of racing on TV, and all the cool cars have a driver, like a really cool driver. So, like, I'm just kind of really excited.
Well, I hope that excitement helps keep them safe. Now, the rest of you are all dismissed. And I'll let you know what Teletran has to tell us. Prime nods, and again, you see the worry come back over him. It's always a little sad to see how much weight the Autobot leader carries on his shoulders. He does so without complaint. He does so without trying. He does his best to make sure that nobody sees it. But as he moves back over to the main console, Teletran and the data display start going up, Prime just seems endlessly just absorbed into constantly reading intelligence readouts and scans for Energon. He just keeps watching the screen. You can only imagine what he is probably going through every single day. But at that point, all of you were approached by the two humans. And Charlotte says, listen, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I don't want to impose or anything, but Billy and I are really tired. I don't know if y'all sleep, but we haven't really slept much in the past couple of days. Is there a place where we could just crash?
They mean sleep. They mean go to sleep.
Oh, Bumblebee too was just like, Sleep, right. Yeah, right. Oh, man. That's going to take some getting used to. That's sling I'm never going to be using.
Yeah, we don't say the C word here, just so you know.
Oh, sorry.
But yeah, I think we can find something for you.
Yeah, like some scrap blankets. I'm sure processors got a bunch of junk that's useful.
We'll cut to Ratchet is actually the one who sets them up with a nice facility. Ratchet manages to use hollow matter to create beds that they can sleep in and activates that inside the medical facility as he is looking you over processor. What you also see is Ratchet apparently has a data readout that has full biological scans of human anatomy and helps keep track of exactly how to help injured humans in biologics. It looks like Ratchet has been doing a lot of studying since landing here, since awakening here on Earth. There's an entire encyclopedia, a database of biological life forms from grass to blue whales, and Ratchet has been studying all of it. As he sits you down, processor just starts patching you up and just looks you in the eye and says, I guess it was only a matter of time till one of them got you, processor. Looks like they didn't hit anything vital, though.
Yeah, well, I'll be dancing for a long time.
That's for sure. My guess is since the four of you were so successful getting this first beacon back to the Ark, Prime's probably going to have you go out looking for the second. If there is a second.
That seems logical and likely.
Well, we better get you all suited up. So as the repairs are conducted on your processor, each one of you has a chance to just let the past 48 hours sink in. You guys have been itching to contribute, to help here at the Ark, to help the Autobot cause, and constantly being put in the background, doing things here on the Ark and not getting in the fight. Now you've been in the fight. You've felt the rush of battle, but also the dangers that are inherent in fighting Decepticons. You've all felt the rush of battle and the danger of battle. The past 48 hours is really sinking in for all of you. You have been playing in the back of the road this entire time, and Prime finally trusted you all with the mission. Before we go tonight, I would just like to know, as the day is winding down and you guys are going into a regeneration cycle to just recover and recoup and get repaired, Carmisi, you, from across the med bay, can see the two humans snuggled up to each other sleeping. They're holding each other's hands, and they've pulled the sheets up and are just completely out. What's Carmisi going through? What does Carmisi feel?
So tell me if this is an accurate, in like normal way that Autobots kind of feel towards their humans, but it's kind of like when you have like two really like you've got two puppies or like two kittens, and you are just like, oh my goodness, I love them so much. I just want to squeeze them and hold them forever and like drive around with them. So it's very much like that giddiness, like finally having like when you can get a dog after like your whole life, your parents have always been like, no, you can't have a dog. That kind of feeling, but the Autobot version, which is the exact same energy. Like, can I have a human? Can I have a human? And then Prime's like, no, like humans are autonomous. You can't just have a human. And then finally, like they get their own humans. It's still complicated, but that, and then the idea, like, I don't know if I played Carmisi quite right, but they are an absolute fanboy. Like the really impressive Autobots that have like the high Decepticon score and who are really high ranking, except for Ironhide because he's scary. So like Prime's approval is everything. They like Prime might be able to turn Carmisi into a pretty decent Autobot if a couple more head pats and some more validation. They might be on the right track to actually being a champion, and I'm really excited.
To answer your question, in the lore of Transformers, pretty traditionally through just about every incarnation, including in one of my favorite incarnations, which is the IDW comics. There's a great single IDW comic by that focuses on Cliffjumper that I highly recommend. But Autobots feel this instinctual protective need to protect biological life, particularly humans. They develop a guardianship towards humanity. They feel a responsibility to protect them because they brought their war to Earth and they didn't mean to. So Prime and all of the Autobots feel this almost desperate need to protect this world from suffering the same fate as Cybertron. So the affection that each one of the Autobots has towards the humans is kind of why you're getting the attitude from like RC, who is super just like, hey, welcome aboard. Like that's kind of the only person in the arc who is deeply unhappy is definitely Ironhide. And that's coming from a place of not wanting to endanger humans and wanting to protect the auto. So it's kind of that. But to answer your question, Carmisi, you are definitely, yes, that is totally in tandem with like this feeling of nurturing protector. Like you need to throw, like it's the same thing that Derailer felt when she just threw herself in front of oncoming fire to protect the humans. And you just sit there and watch these two and you begin to realize the responsibility that all Autobots have towards Earth right now. One, for better or worse, whether your intentions were, the war of Cybertron was brought to this planet. And now you've got to make sure that it doesn't hurt anybody else. Sleeper, how about you? How's your day wrapping up?
I'd like to have a short scene also approaching Carmisi to talk a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, you catch
you're
me just like
sitting here watching
the
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just kind of observing them, and a shadow passes as you look up and see Sleeper has approached you.
I go, hey.
Hey. What's up?
You were really speedy where it mattered today.
Thank you. I saw the way you took out that one Decepticon. It was really
cool.
cool.
An accident. I couldn't stop. You know how it goes.
I mean, if anybody asks, I'll say it was intentional.
Yeah, they can believe it all they want, but you know, today, even after I won the morning's race, at the end of the day, good racing. And then I hold up for a high five.
Fine, good racing, and it's a reluctant high five.
Okay,
sweet. And then I just walk away.
Processor, your wound has been closed up. Your arm feels totally fine. You're back to full. What are you doing? How do you wrap up your day?
First of all, I want to talk with Ratchet and just learn as much as I possibly can about not only repairing Autobots, but also I might need to know some of that human repairing stuff. I think it's called medicine.
Ratchet glances over at the humans and then glances over at Carmisi, who is protectively notices. You would notice this too, Processor, from across the room. Carmisi is doing something you haven't seen them do before. They are looking on these two humans who were asleep on the opposite end of the facility with a focus that's not on Carmisi. It looks like Carmisi is interested in their safety, is what you're getting the vibe from immediately, from their behavior from today and the way they've been acting since. And Ratchet says, you're definitely going to need to know how to help humans. Let me tell you something, Processor. And Ratchet turns and looks at you and says, I'm glad you've been finally called in, because of all the Autobots here on the Ark that have the capacity to become the next great medic that we have, it's you. And I have a feeling it's not going to stop here. And he nods, ominously nodding over to the two humans and says, if the government knows about us, it's only a matter of time now. Let's look at, honestly, Perceptor has already started throwing out percentages and says that there's a 65% probability that in the next 6 months, the world is going to know about us. And what happens after that? Who knows?
Afraid you're right. So let's get to studying.
And he nods to you. What is Derailer doing? Let me ask this of Derailer real quick too. Was this Derailer's first time in combat? You defeated a Decepticon today from the top of a building. It was Snipe Processor.
I did. That was Derailer's first time in combat. And she's never felt... she knows that smaller Autobots can have their place in combat, but she's never felt that she was one who could be that effective. So to get some pretty vital information and then to defeat a Decepticon that to not only defeat that Decepticon, but to have prevented them from doing worse to Processor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's feeling really good about it, but like not in a prideful way. Like, she doesn't feel like she knows she did a good job, but she doesn't feel that she did anything extremely special.
Right. You're not doing this for the glory. You protected a friend today.
Right. I protected a friend, and I did what Optimus Prime asked me to do.
Where is Derailleur right now? Where is she sitting? Where do you think she is?
Derailleur is she was hanging around with Processor while he was getting patched up.
Mm-hmm.
Afterwards, when Bumblebee said that he listened to podcasts, she went to ask for some recommendations. And she's thinking of asking the humans what their podcast name is.
Okay.
When they wake up. But she's just kind of, she has a lot of energy. She doesn't know what to do with. So she's just kind of all over the place. She's just like pacing.
Bumblebee throws some recommendations at you. He tells you about this one podcast in particular that is like an opinion podcast that's based on a human television show about two FBI agents who are constantly investigating the supernatural and UFOs. And he highly recommends it. And also, they apparently in this television show are also things called the Feds. So it might tie into something and be useful for information for what you were getting involved in.
Oh, maybe. Awesome. Thank you.
So so he introduces you to that podcast and a few others. And you and Bumblebee just kind of sit and exchange some information about human entertainment. Bumblebee's a big fan. And with that, the sun sets, the moon rises over the arc, and another day has passed. We're wrapping up here. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, Autobots, well done. Gain a level. Y'all are going to hit level 2. So when we come back for the next session, we'll have leveled up your characters and be ready to find out what Teletran 1 has been able to uncover from this beacon, and if Teletran has been able to discover where the second beacon is. Until then, my friends, thank you so much for joining us in this battle to keep Earth safe, and we will catch you next time.